Okay, so welcome everybody to the session on Erasmus Plus opportunities for developing guidance. Welcome to the participants on site here in Prague, and welcome also to the people participating online. So, as most of you know, Erasmus Plus is the European Union's program to support education, training, youth and sport in Europe. Staff mobility and partnership actions, collaboration and exchange are highly valid means of promoting and supporting development and innovation in guidance. May I please introduce you to Mr. Šimon from the Czech National Agency for International Education and Research, who will highlight the Erasmus Plus priorities and the funding opportunities available. He will also touch on some other European programs, such as European Solidarity Corps. Next up is Mrs. Zuzana Freibergová from the National Training Fund of the Czech Republic, who will talk about the project C-Game, an exciting Erasmus Plus project through which an online career orientation game was developed for pupils between 12 and 14 years old. Then next up is Mrs. Andrea Czirke from the Czech Association for Career Guidance and Career Development, who will share with you the results of the project Career Guidance for the 21st Century. And finally, we will have Mrs. Stefany from DTB in Belgium, Flanders, who will introduce you to the project Jump to Job, which is an Erasmus Plus partnership project which focused on young people with disabilities who work as mentors to their peers, and on job coaches working with young people with disabilities. Stefany will also briefly introduce you to Transit Action, an Erasmus Plus project supporting young adults with autism spectrum disorder to overcome the challenges in transitioning from education to employment. We will finish off the session with 5 minutes of questions and answers, both on site and online. So please, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you, Csirke. Hello, everybody. Hi also to the online space. As been said, my name is Šimon. I'm the head of the Youth and Sport Division in the Czech National Agency for International Education and Research. For those of you who are from the Czech Republic, you might know our Czech name, Dům zahraniční spolupráce. In my presentation, I will briefly touch upon the programs that we are managing, but not all of them, because there is a lot of them. We as an organization are tasked with basically all international education management or implementation of the programs within the Czech Republic, which means that we are responsible for over 25 different programs, both large, such as the Erasmus, which you already know, I suppose, and even the smaller ones, such as bilateral programs with only specific countries, or also different networks, such as the Eurodesk and others. So don't worry, I will not go into all of the details of all of these programs within the 10 minutes I have, because then I would have to be wrapping with the cadence of at least 200 words per minute. But I will talk about the most important ones, and those are Erasmus and the European Solidarity Corps. Erasmus, usually people know as the program that enables university students to spend one semester on a university abroad. That's the general perception of what Erasmus is. But that's only one small part of it, because there are many other sectors that are covered by Erasmus. For example, did you know that there is Erasmus even for preschools? Because there is. It's not that the 5-year-old kids would be exchanging or traveling abroad for 6 months. That would probably be a bit difficult, although it might yield perfect pictures. I would love to see this exchange of preschoolers, but regarding the preschools, it concerns the teachers. But also it concerns teachers or the staff at elementary schools, and on high schools, both staff and the pupils might attend mobilities, meaning they could attend either short-term for a few days or a few weeks, up to long-term mobilities, which enables them to travel and gain new experiences, new skills, and new contacts abroad for even periods of several months. So this is the formal education part of Erasmus. The universities, vocational education and training, in Czech it's the odborné školy, and the school part, which covers basically all the other schools which are not included in the previous two categories. But besides that, there are two more sectors that I believe might be very interesting for you, and these are the youth sector and the adult education sector. Now, before I get into these, Erasmus is, in all of these subsections, is divided into two different, we call it key actions. Key action 1 concerns mobilities, people traveling, learning, and then returning. It's about really physically moving from one place to another to gain experiences. The second one is called Key Action 2, which you will hear more about in the later session, because these are much larger projects aiming on building capacities between organizations or schools, improving the fields, and somehow getting the human knowledge further than it was before the project. That's the basic distinguishing. It's hundreds of pages of rules and bases and programs and principles, which I will not delve into, but this is the most basic ones. Okay, Key Action 1 are the mobilities. Key Action 2 are the larger projects, we call it cooperation projects. Now, the youth sector is a very interesting one, and that's coming from an unbiased person such as myself. No, really, it's great. I've myself attended several mobilities. I've done the projects from the point of NGO, and now I'm tasked with leading the division of youth in the Czech National Agency. And I think that the best way how to introduce the projects is by examples. So the KA1, the mobility project that I use as an example, is a project that was done by Hnutí Brontosaurus, which is an NGO in Czech Republic. And in South Moravia, they invited several groups of people from all around Europe. There were people from France, Portugal, Sweden, Bulgaria, etc., etc. And these 40 plus people gathered in South Moravia to discuss and learn about intergenerational dialogue between generations, the young and the older ones, how to improve these relationships. The program consisted of very interesting activities, such as baking cakes with nuns in local monastery. So to imagine what youth exchange is about, imagine 40 young people baking frgali, the traditional Moravian cakes, with nuns in a monastery. There was a massive language barrier because obviously the young people from all these countries didn't speak Czech and the nuns did not speak very good English, but still they managed to bake the frgali. And they learned a lot because all of these people were thrown into different environment than they are used to. They learned, they experienced what different cultures are about, they exchanged contacts, and within 10 days, they learned, I dare to say, more than they would have learned in a month in formal education. Also, they gained new competences, they improved their language skills, teamwork abilities, and all these things that might be also very important to you as a career counselors or guiders, because these skills are usually omitted by the formal education. Things that you learn during the youth exchanges really are very valuable, I think. And similar projects can be done also for the youth workers, where they discuss new methods, they learn how to deal with the youth work, what methods to improve, etc. In adult education, and one more important thing, within the Erasmus Plus Youth, every single young person is eligible to participate. There are no limitations whatsoever. The only one is age, that you have to be 13 to 30 at the time the mobility starts. That's it, nothing else. You don't need to be enrolled in some special type of school. You don't need to be enrolled in education. You don't have to have certificates proving this and that, nothing. If you are in the age category of 13 to 30, you are eligible to participate. You just need to find an NGO that's hosting the project and apply. That's it. Within the adult education of Erasmus+, this is a little bit different because there are two categories of eligible participants. The first ones are employees. You can see on the slide, there are several different types of mobilities they can attend. Either it can be courses and trainings, or job shadowings, or teaching or training assignments, meaning either the person attends a training or they travel to a different company or organization to job shadow, to look under the roof and learn how the organization operates, and then take the good practice back. Or they can be tasked with teaching or training assignment, meaning that these employees might actually themselves start teaching or do some assignment in a partner organization abroad. But besides these, there is also the possibility for learners, adult learners, to attend Erasmus+, either as a group, or there are short-term learning mobilities or long-term mobilities. That means that if there is a learner enrolled in some program that classify him as a learner in adult education, and the organization has a partnership or has a project within the adult education Erasmus, they might send this learner abroad to, again, gain some experience, knowledge, etc. Again, to show a small example, this is one of the examples for the learners mobility, for the employee mobility. Botanická zahrada, a botanical garden in Prague, needed to improve their work environment or learn some skills about monasterial gardens. So they decided, they made a partnership with 3 other countries, or organizations in 3 other countries, and they did this program. It was covered. That's an important thing I haven't said yet. All the Erasmus activities are fully covered by the grant. So even, for example, especially for the young people, it's very important because they often don't have much money. Everything is covered for them. So anyone can attend, regardless of their social or economical status, to be inclusive. So the organization did the training course and then improved based on what they learned. Just to give you a short overview, these are the numbers, I think, for 2020, before the COVID paralysis. There were over 90,000 mobilities all over Europe in the youth sector, almost 8,000 mobilities in the adult sector. But besides these, there are some resource centers that might be very important to you, or interesting at least. The first one is EPALE, which is a European community of adult learning professionals. It's a virtual space, it's a website where all people can cooperate, collaborate, share, exchange experience, and it's free, of course. You might find many open online courses on different topics. It's in 27 languages, I think. So even if your learners are not fluent in some language, they will almost always find the native language on there. And there are various presentations, courses, papers, studies, statistics, basically all the resources you might want and need, you can find over there. So I highly recommend you to join and spread the word about EPALE further. And for the youth sector, a bit similar is a Eurodesk network, which is information network about youth opportunities, both for young people and for youth workers. If a young person approaches you, I want to do something, what would you advise me? You can refer them to the Eurodesk in their specific country. All the opportunities, programs, events, and other possibilities are there. And now, very briefly, because I know that the time is limited, sorry, the European Solidarity Corps. It's a different program, but it's very similar to Erasmus+. The most important part of it is the volunteering. You might have heard about European Voluntary Service that was previously part of Erasmus. Since 2018, it's a separate program, the ESC, but the basis remained the same. It's about possibility for young people, 18 to 30, again, no other limitations, only the age. From 18 to 30 to go for a volunteering assignment, meaning they can go for 2 or 12, up to 12 months to a different organization in a different country, learn, work, gain new contacts, experiences, etc., and then use them in their professional life. So for example, if some young person finishes school and they want to have a gap year this is a perfect opportunity. If they, for example, don't have a job and they are somehow lost in life, they want to find themselves, very often volunteering might help with that, because they might try to work, for example, in a field of environment or in education or others, and see whether it's for them or not. So volunteering, again, everything for them is covered. The accommodation, the travels, they even have pocket money. So when they are living abroad, they, even though they are not paid for their work, they still have some money to get by. So this is a very nice opportunity for anyone. And the last slide, for youth, after all of the youth activities, the participants are informed they can get a youth pass. Youth pass is a certificate that's shortly describing the projects that they have attended, the competences they have gained, the skills they have learned, and it's something that they might have after the project ends to prove what they have learned, to prove, for example, to potential employers, these are my skill set because I have learned this here and there and on this project. There is a paper that's a proof. So we hope that the youth pass will be more and more recognized over time by employers in order to motivate young people to attend the youth events and the projects, because we strongly believe it makes sense. Okay, that was Erasmus and European Solidarity Corps in 10 minutes, more or less. Thank you very much for your attention. I will now give the floor back, and if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer that after at the end of the session or over lunch. So thank you, and I yield the floor back.
So we will now hear all about 2 Czech Erasmus Plus projects, which also involved many other partners from around Europe.
Or maybe if you have any questions, we might wait until the technical issues are solved. So if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer one of them now and the rest later. Yeah, please. Well, the youth pass is exclusively for the youth events. So that's the. Yes. But it's not as recognized as we would like to. Hopefully, over time it will improve and it will be recognized more.
So thank you very much for your help, and I would like to introduce you very briefly, because I think I have only 7 minutes. The online game that is devoted for kids aged 12 to 14, and these are kids that are heading the first choice of occupation and selection of the secondary school. This was an Erasmus Plus project. There were, of course, some partners, 6 partners from partnership. Okay, so you will see the coordinator was the Association of Educational Guidance Counselors, then from Czech Republic, the National Training Fund, 2 institutions from Slovak Republic, 1 institution from Greek, and 1 from Bulgaria. The Greek institution was the expert in psychodiagnostic methods, because in the game there is inherited some testing of pupils' interest according the Holland typology of personality and working environment. So this is the background, and now maybe I will show you also the web page with our outcomes. We started with desk research, and we did research on everything that can be helpful for the game development for such an online game. All these outputs you can find on these web pages. These research studies are in English. And then there is a lot of things, a lot of papers that we produced during these 33 months of the project run. There is really nearly everything. There is also the handbook for facilitator and also for pupils in all languages. And now I will only shortly show you the game. If we have some more time, I will be happy if you will take your mobiles and try the game with me on your mobiles. If you have mobiles with and you already used these Wi-Fi, because the organizers printed here the Wi-Fi. I will change it to the language. You can see that all the game is in 5 languages because of Greek, Slovak, Czech, and Bulgarian partners. Here is the facilitator back office, which I tried to put in the password, but it doesn't work here, so I can't show you this. And I will show you the game, but you can, if you have already written the email, the web address, it is not necessary you put there your email or some code which is provided by the facilitator's back office, but you can click here, continue like a guest. The disadvantage of playing the game like a guest is that all you will do inside the game, it will be lost after you shut the application. If you will use your email, it will remind there, and after you will enter again to the game, all you did you will find there. So I will now try to put inside one of the pupils codes there, and we will see. Tak to tam není. So we are inside the game. You have to put here some nickname. To continue, you have to choose some guide. You will because the guide is doprovázet. Accompany you during the game. Here you can put the name of the guide, and now there is a need to name the city you are now establishing, because the game is happens in a city, and in the city there is a lot of buildings. Inside the buildings there are some vacancies, and the role of the player is to build the city, the buildings, and to occupy the vacancies. We will skip the tutorial, and if you have your mobiles, you can try to build some building. Each of these 135 buildings in the city has its own card. And inside the first level, there is the Holland test. So we will something do this, and now we see the card of the building. It's time. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So my time is over. My time is over. It's everything you can see. You can see. When I do the presentation with deep, no, teď mi vypadla i angličtina, výborně. With deep instruction for the tutors. It takes 50 minutes. If I have only 7, so you see only a part. What I can say more is that there is a facilitator back office in which the facilitators see all of the pupils and their nemám to zavírat. And what the pupils did there inside the gate. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will give the floor to Andrea.
Thanks a lot. So we've got 10 minutes left, 15, between me and... Okay. But there are two products developed this year within Erasmus in the Czech Republic. Both of them digital. The first one was from Zuzana, the C game. And the second one is the C course. C course or career guidance course.EU. C course like career course. This is an e-learning developed for guidance practitioners, students in that field, or any other people who are interested in our field. The nickname is ccourse.eu, but as you see, it works also, but the main domain is career guidance course without spaces, career guidance course.eu. And this is maybe, as I do not have time, this is the only information what I really should tell you. Because you can, of course, visit the web. Oh, it is really strange how it looks like. Okay. You can have a look. There are 2 videos on the website. The first one is the short one, this one like for marketing. It talks about what you can await from the e-learning. And then is a bit more telling you in the second video, but I really, this website looks a bit strange. I haven't seen it before. This is just not our website. This PC is quite strange, but what should you know about the e-learning? That the e-learning has 4 modules. It means it works with 4 topics. This is not a complex e-learning, complex online course. devoted to the field of guidance and counseling. Our intention was and still is to develop slowly but surely more and more topics in our field, and these are the first 4 topics we developed within these Erasmus. If you go to the menu, I recommend it because there are very interesting papers, but of course the e-learning on its own is the most important output of this Erasmus, but these resources are really important. So you can have a look. We did, for example, a quite interesting research before we started to design and develop the e-learning. Did focus groups, interviews with experts, just aiming to gain their insight. What should we do? What topics we should work with? And similar questions. And what is really interesting is the report. We prepared just at the end of the project, at the end of September, because the pilot run of this e-learning did run from April, March till September. And nowadays, I guess we have more than 3,000 registered users, 3,000, and more than 300 learners who successfully completed the e-learning. And this report evaluates the numbers. It's interesting which learners from which countries, which modules, how many learners, and similar questions, and which learners from which countries. It means this is Erasmus, so I guess you know that there are languages. This output is available in 5 languages. English, the main language, because this is our common language, so it is like a side effect of the project. And then we have it in Czech, in Slovak, in Polish, and in Norwegian. And just the last sentence about the topics: navigating the world of work. From my point of view, this module is very interesting because work with international documents from OECD, World Economic Forum, CEDEFOP, European Commission, a lot of numbers, of course, on a very interactive way, getting closer the topic of the world of work to the guidance practitioners. So I mean, there is some text, of course, it is necessary, but apart from that, there are a lot of activities in the e-learning, a lot of PDF documents to be downloaded, which you can use in your practice. The second topic is about you, about the professional development, enhancement of guidance practitioners. Very creative module, really. The third module, the third topic, is about career education. From my point of view, the main advantage of that module is that very simply, with very understandably, explains the topic of career education in schools to the guidance practitioners. Just for your information, one member of the team which developed this module was Tristan Hooley. Small marketing. And the last module is the transforming role of career practitioners. Quite a provocative model because it works with interesting new topics like green guidance, digital guidance, and we also intended to link career theories with practice and research. So have a look and you will see if it is interesting for you. 43, so thanks a lot. careerguidancecourse.eu or ccourse.eu. I wish a lot of inspiring minutes with studying in this e-learning. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I will try to speak fast and clearly. Thank you, Yoga, your guidance, Flanders, for inviting me. I will be presenting or giving you a brief preview of what we did thanks to the international collaboration in Europe for our main target group that are job seekers with disabilities. So we have different activities within GTB. And one of those things is seeking new things to do to have a more qualitative service to our target group. Jump to Job from November 2019 to October 22. Main objective, of course, increase employment among young people with disability. That's a part of our main target group. So the result of Jump to Job is training peer mentors. So we have a training program in collaboration with young people with disability that come with us together, and we give a training program in the schools with pupils with disability to increase their chances on the labor market. These were, because it's finished, strategic objectives and specific results. We tried to empower young people with disabilities. That was one of the most crucial parts of this project. We want to plant seeds to make them reflect on what after school, what do I want, what do I need, what can I do? Also, the job coaches or the career counselors and the young people with disability have a more fruitful relationship. There's not that relationship where the expert tells everything they should know about the labor market, but there is a kind of collaboration to get that reflection about a sustainable job inclusion later on. The job coaches training is more effective because it takes into account that young person with a disability that is an expert on his own life and his own experiences and shares it with the job coaches during the training program and during the training courses that are given to the pupils. So it's co-producing, so it's also a learning experience for our job coaches. We hope also, of course, with the impact on the labor market, that enterprises, organizations can adapt their environment, their workplace to become more inclusive, where we are working through the pupils that are coming on the labor market to be more self-confident, more reflective. Hopefully, when they go solicit for a job, they can tell the future employer what their needs are and what they want and what they're capable of course. So the main deliverable here was that curriculum, that training program that we gave that we piloted twice, evaluated twice in schools. And so we have now a final product, a final course and curriculum that can be given with a career counselor and a young person with a disability. Okay, we did that, of course, in partnership with 7 organizations, 4 service providers, university, social enterprise, an employer, and 1 from the European network. So Belgium, Greece, Norway, Slovenia, and Spain. So we did that together. We also, for example, Norway, we went to Norway to grab the knowledge about this training course and this training program. It's a very specific. It's from Zet and Dotre. So you can find them online. There's a whole intensive course and program about their training program to empower young people with a disability. Their core belief is that even with a disability, you can reflect on yourself, you can gain insight, you can be empowered to take action about your own career path. So we went there, we had a train-the-trainer program, we followed it, and we took it home and we piloted it, but we adapted it, of course, a little bit to the context in Belgium, where we come as GTB as an external partner and school, so it's not the same as going there and giving a program of several days or weeks. Of course, the challenges are still there, but we still want to look further to empower pupils in schools because of these reasons, of course. We have still these overarching challenges for policy. We're still looking into this, and we are still looking into Jump to Job, how to structurally maintain this training program, because it's labor intensive, as well for the job coaches as for the young people experience worker to come with us to go give training programs in schools. It's not yet structurally landed. All right, let's jump to job. So then the other project is Transit Action. So what we wanted to do there is, of course, we were faced with a lot of challenges in the counseling of young people with autism, especially in the transition from school education to the labor market. So the context and the main problems were situated on all 4 of these domains. There were challenges for the transition coaches, so the career counselors, the young adults with autism in the very meaningful change in their life from school to labor market. There are challenges, of course, on the labor market itself, and there are challenges within the employers, and there are also challenges within families and stakeholders surrounding the young person with autism. Okay, so from challenges to objectives, what did we do within Transit Action? On all those 4 domains, we tried to obtain things that could help the global system and the global system of challenges. So for the transition coaches, we try to find skills and tools for them to be more effective in their counseling. We want to make trained transition coaches to take more into consideration how to collaborate with young people with autism. We want them to have better knowledge of the specific needs of young people with autism, and more efficient handover to know more about what happened in school and the functioning and the challenges, but also the competences of the young people with autism, and to take them into account on the labor market. For the young person, it's themselves, we try to give them tools to teach themselves how to transition to employment and to overcome some challenges. We involve them as much as possible in the development of the tools and the methods into helping them. For the companies, we developed also some tools and some methods to empower them to hire young people with autism. And so they can be more prepared, more in a concrete way, in a specific way, how to communicate with young people with autism, and to know specifically the small details that can be arranged in the office, in the factory, whatever, so they are more readily ready to employ people with autism. Okay, and so they could be more flexible in their approach, of course, and more inclusive in their hiring. For them, we also have information for families and stakeholders. We have information to be able to support, to empower, to surround the young people with autism in that significant change in their life, from going to school to going to labor market, where you go to school to about 18 years old and you know your whole system into an unknown system. For persons with autism, it can be very challenging. So we give the resources to families and other stakeholders to be able to support them. So the main objective, in one simple point, it should be an easier transition from school to employment. Okay, we did that, of course, with a lot of partners. There are here service members, there are private, like particular organizations that specialize in coaching of persons with autism that give consultancy to employers and to companies. That's automatic. Futuro Digitale in Italy made the website for us where all the information, all those circles that you saw earlier are put on there. We have service institutions with different target groups with autism that have specific knowledge, specific expertise. Those things were shared together and put online for our transition coaches to be able to learn and to be more competent in that guidance. So the good practices, we did research on them. We implemented them, we tried them out. We selected digital tools in supporting young people with autism in transition. We did an analysis on social workers and the stakeholders and what were needed. We did in-person training, but also very much online training because of Corona. And all those things you can find on the website transitaction.eu. There are e-modules, there is information, there is also exercises. It's very large, depending on who you are and what you need. If you are a young person with autism and you have a lot of stress, there's a module on stress regulation and exercises on how to recognize stress, but also how to manage it, for example. There's a module about clear and inclusive, plain and inclusive communication with young people with autism. What are the specific needs and how to communicate with people with autism. So there's a lot of creative information that you can find that hopefully is useful for employers, for transit coaches, for young people with autism, but also for the network surrounding the young person with autism. So thank you very much, Yoga. I think I'm a little bit over time.
Thank you so much to all the presenters in this session. So let's have a look at the question and answers in the chat also. Oh, we see one. Okay, that's a thank you message from Cynthia Harrison. Thank you so much. Is it? Yeah. Any questions from the room here, from all of you present for the speakers? Not at the moment. Well, then I would like to add maybe as a final comment that if you are interested in our Erasmus Plus opportunities, of course, you can find all the information on the website, the official website that is of the European Union, and your own national agency usually gives information sessions and has a lot of information. So also on that website, you can find the specific details for the national agency in your country. Okay, thank you all for your fantastic work today, and let's go for lunch now. So we come back for the panel session at 2 o'clock. Thank you all. Bye-bye.